for Recovery for the first time tonight. Seasoned veterans, we'd like to see you.
Thank you for attending the Racing for Recovery Support Group meeting. We are focused on maintaining a drug-free and healthy lifestyle. Since 2001, our open forum meetings welcome parents, adolescents, recovering individuals, and anyone who supports our mission. Any suggestions, comments, or ideas are welcome to make our meetings the best they can be. The Racing for Recovery Support Group meeting is a cutting-edge alternative to what is currently offered. By combining substance abusers, families, friends, and the public at large, we have created an environment that is beneficial to everyone who has been affected by alcohol or drug addiction. Meeting start time is 7 p.m. Please be on time. Please turn off your cell phones or ringers to vibrate. Please, only one person speak at a time. Please speak loudly so that everyone can hear. Proof of attendance is gladly provided. Please turn in your paperwork prior to the meeting, and you can pick it up at the end of the meeting. Honesty is required. Feel free to openly share your comments and points of view on how alcohol and drug addiction has impacted your life. This meeting is open to people of all ages and welcomes diversity, so please refrain from using excessive foul language or language that discriminates against anybody. If you see a visitor, a new member, or a returning member that you haven't seen in a while, please warmly welcome them into our program. Your confidentiality is important to us. What you say here will not be discussed outside of the meeting. Please refrain from leaving the meeting while it is in progress because it is disruptive to others. Smoking or vaping is no longer allowed on the premises. And please dispense of all trash in a garbage can and do not litter on our premises.
Thank you, Joe. Who's got the guidance for living lifestyle recovery?
Guidelines for living lifestyle recovery. Lifestyle recovery guidelines are intended to be utilized by recovering individuals, their families, and anyone else who is striving to avoid substance abuse and achieve sobriety. 1. Recognizing that substance abuse ruins lives. 2. Wanting to pursue positive alternatives to substance abuse, such as our education, employment, quality relationships, and health and fitness. 3. Using resources such as friends, family, teachers, and peers as a way to achieve and remain sober. Adding sports, art, or music to these resources will help us stay focused and motivated. 4. Finding balance and working toward making it a part of everyday life. 5. Building self-esteem and confidence through sobriety to combat negative feelings regarding oneself. 6. Understanding that negative behaviors of isolation and self-pity lead to self-destruction. 7. Lifting a person up is different than allowing them to continue their destructive lifestyles. Be there for yourself and be patient with your friends and family. 8. Learning how to help without supporting the addict's behavior, providing assistance to the recovering individual that will improve their life and not further their usage. 9. Recognizing personal challenges and integrating them into our lifestyle as challenges to triumph over. 10. Caring for our personal, emotional, physical, spiritual individuality is the source we use for our sense of worth. Each person is truly magnificent. Our mission at Racing for Recovery is to prevent all forms of substance abuse by promoting a lifestyle, fitness, and health for all those affected by addiction.
Thank you. All right, who's got what Racing for Recovery means to me by Kelly Anderson?
Hi, I'm Patrice. What Racing for Recovery means to me by Kelly Anderson. Respect yourself enough to quit using, accept the challenges that lie ahead, commit to your recovery, include friends and family on your journey. Never doubt your will to succeed. Give yourself credit for your accomplishments. Focus on the positive things you want in life. Overcome your fears and keep moving forward. One of the reasons you are seeking sobriety. Reach out to others to give and receive support. Expect holes in the road. Choose another road. Care for your body. We only get one in this lifetime. Open your heart, mind, emotions, and spirit. Victory comes from a balanced lifestyle. Adequate yourself on all aspects of recovery. Racing for Recovery saves lives. You will learn that with sobriety, anything is possible.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, it's time for introductions. Here's where we go around the room. Share your name and why you decided to join us tonight.
My name's Joe. I'm here because it's part of my routine, and this place reminds me to be humble and grateful.
I'm James. I'm here to support help you stay clean.
I'm Ryan. I'm here to continue to learn.
I'm Tyler. I'm here to work on making a better life for myself.
I'm Laura. I'm here to support.
I'm Kelsey. I'm here to keep an open mind.
I'm Brittany. I'm here to change my life.
Brian. I'm here to learn.
Eugene, here to stay sober.
Kyle, I'm here to stay sober.
Scott, I'm here to listen.
I'm Justin. I'm here to support and to learn.
I'm Taylor. I'm here to stay on the right path.
I'm Gina. I'm here to remember why I wanted to get sober in the first place.
I'm Adam. Here because I like what this place does for everyone and stay sober.
Justin here for continued growth.
Bob, I'm here to learn.
Richard, here to stay sober.
I'm Tracy, I'm here because I feel supported.
I'm Steve, I'm here to stay sober.
I'm Pat, I'm here for the positivity and to see all my friends.
I'm Sean, I'm here, so I'm not thinking.
I'm Larry, I'm here because I enjoy the meetings. I am thinking. Unlike my friend Sean here. You're in rare form today, Joe. Something you need to drop or anything?
Need a nap is what I need.
Tony, I'm here to remain teachable.
My name's Debbie, I'm Steven's mom, here to support him and never forget.
I'm Mike, I'm here to maintain sobriety, and this is for all the cool people I know.
I'm Samantha, and I'm here to continue learning.
My name's Dane, I'm here to give and get support and because they allow me to be.
I'm Levi, I'm here to learn.
Michael, I'm here to change my life.
Fall sunflowers, sorry. AJ, I'm here to maintain my drive and motivation to get self better and stay humble.
Patrice, I'm here tonight because I want to, I'm just angry tonight. You know, I just got a lot of things that's on my mind. You know what I'm saying? And I just need to just get it out tonight. You know, maybe I could try to just hear something from somebody else just to help me. You know, just to accept the things that I cannot change. You know, and you know, the people that I can't change. And there's some people it's not there where you're at today. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of things that I need to just work on. You know, and I'm glad I am at this meeting tonight. So that's all I want to say.
Glad you're here too.
I'm Heather, and I'm here to continue to grow and to remind myself that it's okay to outgrow people.
My name is Olivia, and I'm here to continue learning how to heal the trauma within me so that I can permanently stay off drugs and alcohol.
My name is Josh, I'm here to listen and learn, continue to grow as a person.
I'm Brittany, and I haven't been here in a week, so I'm feeling really off. So I need and want to be here because I'm awesome and I deserve it.
I'm Zach, and this is where I asked to be, so I'm here.
I'm John, here for growth and positive change.
I'm Shelly, I'm here for a new perspective.
I'm Randall. I come here just to dive into this book. There's a lot of good stuff in here, and I always like reading this sucker.
I'm Des, and I'm here to stay sober.
I'm Candy, and I'm here to listen.
I'm Ashley, and I'm here because this is where I keep learning how to improve my life.
I'm Christine, and I'm here to continue healing.
I'm Matt, I'm here to continue growing.
I'm Chelsea, and I'm here, I guess, I came tonight to take a break from homework, and this feels much better than doing anything so challenging right now.
I'm Keith, I'm here to listen and learn.
I'm Tanya, I'm here to listen and learn.
I'm Mia, I've never been to this type of meeting before, so it's my first meeting. But I think overall, we're all here for the same reason, right? Just want to stay sober and clean for the day.
Welcome.
I'm Angie, and I'm here to just be in a positive atmosphere, get to know faces better, you know, connect with people, maybe make friends, and grow and learn.
I'm Amy, I'm here to figure out how to be the best version of myself.
I'm Brandon, I'm here to change my life in a positive way.
My name is Mike, I'm here because this program helps me live a healthy, balanced lifestyle.
I'm Jim, I'm here because life can be stressful and I don't do drugs anymore, so I'm here to heal.
I'm Bill, I'm trying to make this part of my routine.
I'm Dustin. It's part of my routine. I'm here for a lot of reasons. Helps me stay humble, teachable, and there's always something good to hear at these meetings.
I'm Steven. I I had a wild, crazy, awesome weekend. Got to see one of my favorite artists play music, and there's nothing more recharging than that to me. But also at the same time, it's good to be back here doing what I love doing, you know, being with you guys and running a meeting and just being in this building. I don't know. That's what means the world to me, honestly, every day. Doesn't started. Who's got the answer by Donald D. Card?
The answer. Running from the misery, trying to escape the pain. As I approach the light of hope that lies before me, each step overwhelms me, every breath sears my throat. I hate, my body rebels against me. My memories torment me. Agony has become my closest companion. My demons mock me as I dangle helplessly above the abyss of alcohol and drug abuse. The voices all sound the same, criticizing, accusing, blaming me for what has happened. They don't understand. They don't care who I am. I am a human being full of thoughts and feelings. I'm worth saving, just show me the way. At last, I reached the life promised. There stands angels with open arms, understanding smiles, looks of trust. So begins Race for Recovery.
Thanks, James. Announcements. Who's got something? Any sports going on? Anything new? Yeah, what's up?
Who are you gonna see?
Oh, what's up, Bass Nectar? He's my main man. He's the man, yes. Yeah, Elena.
I'm going to try and put a little committee together to deep clean the kitchen under Tyler's supervision. Washing walls and getting behind stuff. A deep clean, you know, if we're ever inspected, you know, we would want that to pass, you know, if they ever showed up, which is what they normally do. So if anybody wants to help out with some service hours and just fellowship and have some fun, get with me in the next coming week or so, next 3 days. Thanks.
Thank you, that's awesome. Appreciate it. All right, other than that, I'm not going to get into that. There's a race coming up. I'll give you guys like a couple months to heal from what happened, and we'll move on from there. So stay tuned on that. All right, so anyhow, as you can see from the introductions, are meetings for everyone affected by self-destructive behaviors. No topic is off limits. If you have a question or something you'd like to discuss, we encourage you to bring it up early so they have time to discuss it. With that being said, before we get started in this awesome book, does anyone have anything they'd like to talk about? Get off their chest. Anything good, anything bad, anything anywhere in between? No? All right.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
We are on page 64 of the thinner book, and page was on the thicker book? 146 on the thick boy. All right, change your thoughts. Who would like to read for me?
Thoughts run in patterns, and these patterns become our self-talk. Everyone has a continual monologue running in his or her head, and that monologue has a lot to do with how effective and powerful we feel. If your inner narrator is always saying things like, "You can't do this," "You better quit before you screw things up again," you start to believe it. Toxic self-talk reinforces low self-esteem. It makes your lack of confidence a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your inner narrator becomes more like an inner terrorist, undermining everything that you do. Self-esteem erodes because you become too afraid to try anything out of the fear of failure. Start paying attention to your self-talk. Step back mentally and listen to that voice that tells you that you can't do something or that you're just going to fail again. In recovering addicts, ego-shattering self-talk is often hypercritical and hateful, so ask yourself this. If someone else said the same things your own mind says to you, would you tolerate it? You probably wouldn't. So why accept such judgments from yourself? Write down the phrases that appear most consistently in your self-talk and write more empowering alternatives that will become your new corrective self-talk. For instance, if when you go to a social gathering, you find yourself thinking, "Nobody there is going to like me, so I probably won't stay long," write down a new thought like, "I'm going to smile, be charming, and talk to everyone, and some people are bound to like me." Then when those toxic thoughts creep in, catch them, mentally throw them in the trash, Even visualize yourself crumpling them into a ball and tossing them in a wastebasket. And insert your new phrase. Over time, you'll train yourself to think more positively, and more important, your positive thoughts will produce positive results.
Thank you, Ashley. All right, guys, what do you think? I think there's a lot of good stuff in there. Who related to it? Anything stand out? Alina?
I related to that. In fact, I'm working with my counselor on some of the trauma, what feelings come up, and what thoughts go through my mind as I'm working on that, and rehashing that stuff so it can heal properly. When the thoughts come, I'm to pray, God help me, and replace that thought. I also read the Bible, and God states to, to meditate on anything that's pure, of good rapport, honest, virtue, and it's like, okay, I try and pick one of, some of that stuff to try and replace the negative. I just started doing that. It's only been a week. I'm noticing I'm catching myself a little more when I do have those thoughts, and I'm telling myself too to trust the process, because I'm doing the work. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm changing, but I know that if I just continue to do the work, it's bound to happen. Even though I might not be able to tell or see it. I know I'm not like I was when I first got in here, thank God. And probably 6 months from now, I'll be saying, oh, I'm so glad I'm not like I was over 2 months ago, thank God. Just growing. And just learning a new way. Or, not, I shouldn't say it like that. Applying a new way, application, because I knew the way before, but I didn't apply it. Or journey inward. For me being here, my reason of being here is not to find a job, find a place, buy a car. It's none of that. It's for me to go inward, that inward journey, to find out what makes Alina tick. Why does Alina do some of the things she does, or says some of the things she does, or acts sometimes the way she does? Because I had all that, it's still used. So social acceptability for me does not equal recovery. So again, I like to hear about changing. And we also decided all those negative feelings, I'm writing down on a piece of paper, and I'm tearing, just a small piece of paper, and one per little piece of paper, and my counselor is getting me a pretty box, like a flower box, and I'm going to put all those feelings in the box, and each session pull one out, every one I pull out, and we work on that, and if it takes 2-3 weeks, a month, so be it. And then we said that we'll burn it when we're done with that particular, like shame or guilt, so it can be gone. And then when it does come up, remind myself that's done, it's over, it's in the past, so that I can continue moving on. I'm only in the past right now to heal, to get some of this stuff up and out, so the good stuff can come in. And I'm just trying to trust God and be a little better. I'm now asking in my prayers, God, let me help somebody today. Even if it's just a smile, or where is she? I don't see her in here. Or just a compliment someone on their figure that I know that's been working out hard in the morning. Little stuff like that. Or somebody, just anything positive that would bring somebody up instead of tearing them down. You know, I pray and ask God to let me do that and help me do that and to remind me to do that. I just want to be a better human being, and I don't want to smoke crack anymore. I just don't. So I'm willing to do whatever I got to do to not return to that horror, and I'll pass.
And you don't have to ever again. Thanks, Elena. Sean.
The one thing in here that stood out, sentence where it said, start paying attention to your self-talk. I don't do that no more. Because I'm, and not in a negative way, I mean it in a positive way. Because my thought process of changing today is different because, and this is just me, I've started to build this relationship with God as I understand Him, not what everybody else understands. This is my relationship with God. And therefore, I'm starting to become this new person that I don't know and is very uncomfortable. I was just talking to someone on the phone for about an hour before I came here. I got off work, and he said, the reason why and I told him, I said, I'm so uncomfortable, like nervous uncomfortable with my daily everything, because I can see the progress, but it's stuff that I've never done before and handled situations, things like that, decision making. So I'm uncomfortable because I'm starting to have a relationship with God, and I'm trying to figure out this new guy, and it's probably going to be another 7 years before I figure that out. But so my thought process when I start thinking, I've said this all the time, I unthink, I pause. If I go to make a decision, I unthink it, I pause, and I just let it come to me. I wait for God to hopefully give me an answer somehow, through somebody. God works through others. So I'll usually get an answer through somebody when it comes to any type of decision, and it's been working. So, that's the whole thought process. So, and I know this ain't a step thing, but I want to share this real quick. So, when they talk about you do step 4 and 5 and the 12 step, you get all this garbage out, your trauma and all that, blah, 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 blah. So you get all this stuff out, right? That don't fix everything, And then you get into step 6 where it talks about asking God, to entirely remove these defects of character. So now I'm starting to build a relationship with God. That's how it worked for me because of the fact that now I'm trying to trust in God to take the wheel, and try to direct me. And I don't know what that is at times, I can't know what's the right decision, what's the wrong decision. All I know is the action I put behind it. But my whole thought process has to change, I heard somebody talking about that on, addiction. You have to change your thinking, or you'll never stop using it. If you don't change your thinking, you'll never stop using it. You got to change people you hang out with, all this stuff. So, it's, I guess you can call it like a psychic change, you can call it a spiritual, whatever, but it's ultimately, I had to just realize that Sean's not any power. I can't do it my own. I got to trust in something more than me to do it and direct me. And that's the only thing I did with my changing of my thoughts. And then I just trusted in others to say, hey, do it this way, do it this way. Even though I don't like to hear that, I got to trust in it because it's working. It's me. And then last thing, you get around, I don't know if Patrice is, but you're battling with this because I do all that. Even in a year, it's been, I cannot stand being around people in Walmart. Drives me absolutely nuts. I go crazy. I can't do it. Patience, that's patience, right? So, I had to change my whole thoughts of that. How do I, what do I do here with that? I can't control what other people do. I can't. So I have to get out of that anchor shell and be like, you know what, and just, you know, make a joke out of it, call him an idiot, whatever. I mean, whatever, you know, just to get myself to have a little laughter, you know, whatever works, you know, and then just trust that, hey, man, you know, I can't control what other people do. I can only control what I do. And it's hard, but, yeah, it's just, you know, as long as you just continue to stay and work and be selfish and work on yourself, you know, I don't know, that's working, I guess. So, thanks.
Thanks, Sean.
To a degree.
I actually have noticed since for a little bit, just the way you're talking is changing too. I don't know if anyone else notices that, but the way Sean's talking is, you're not so hard on yourself, at least today. It's really, I know you're going to laugh at that because you're always hard on yourself, but right now you didn't say anything like to hard on yourself, and it feels like you seem a little bit more light. I don't know.
I do it in the morning when you ain't around.
All right, let's keep it that way. All right, Heather, what's up?
So when, and you said something about if you wouldn't say it to some, or whatever that was, if you wouldn't say it to someone else, why would you accept it for yourself or whatever? So like, I agree with that, but like, I don't really follow that, but I think of it, for me, it's like, my like, picker is broken, clearly, and so I have to like check myself, and if I wouldn't let my girls bring somebody home the way the people that I pick, then like there's probably something wrong with that. Or like even just in any situation, like if I wouldn't be okay with them coming to me telling me that someone is saying what they're saying, what like people say to me or whatever, like I should probably check myself and like check the situation. And that like has changed my thought process and like a lot of my decision making, and a lot of the reactions that I have to certain situations, like tremendously.
Thanks, Heather. Brittany.
So I'm going to point out that same little sentence there. If someone else says the same thing your own mind says to you, would you tolerate it? My problem is I would. Like, I used to. Maybe not so much, I'm working on it now. There's still a lot of things that people say to me that I will take to heart, and it will just go right down to my core. It will spread roots, and then I water that, and it grows into my negative self-talk. And it's because I would tolerate that I struggle now with turning that thought process around. You know, it was bred in my brain to where, you know, everybody else had these things to say about me, these opinions, these negative things to say, or something to point out that made me just not good enough. So that was, like I said, it grew roots. And it got down to my core. So trying to turn that around has been extremely difficult. And a few weeks ago, it was a huge battle. You know, and that was a big part of it. You know, not only was I struggling with my job, but I was struggling with the fact that I believe that I could do my job. That no matter how many times I come up to this same scenario, I'm always going to fail at it. Why bother? Why start these reports? Why do this? I'm not going to finish them on time. I'm not going to meet the deadline. I haven't met it before. I don't feel like I'm improving. Why start? But I met my deadline. I wasn't here for a week because I was putting in the work to do that. You know, every step of the way it was, you're never going to do this. You're never going to do this. Why are you putting yourself here when you could be there? I mean, you suck at this anyway. Why not pull yourself away from it? It's a good excuse. It's a good place to be rather than being right here and doing what you're supposed to be doing. And like the days that I need this place the most, I had to be there the most. I had to put that into balance, and by damn, I got through it. I did it and I met my deadline, and I think I did a pretty good damn job of it. So now, next time that I come up to the situation, I fought through that. I fought through, you're never gonna make it. You're never gonna do it. You suck at these anyway. Nobody else believes in you. Your boss is looking for a reason. Your boss is looking for a reason to write you up. She's got that level 2 waiting for you. She's already got it typed up. But I refuse to just sit there and let that negative talk just stop me in my tracks. I think that's growth. And I can recognize that, and I'm not feeling as shitty as what I was feeling a couple weeks ago when I was breaking down in here crying. Got a few people who kind of rooting me on that, you know, I gotta say thank you to, because not only would they let me look at the fact that I could do it, but if it was something that was causing me that much stress to where I was just tearing myself to shreds, maybe that's something to take a closer look at and look at other avenues. But, and even though it does tear me to shreds and I'm doing it to myself, and I'm still able to look at those other avenues and see what other possibilities are out there too. Because I recognize that it is causing me that much stress, but it's something, I'm in the place that I need to be right now. Because even with this crap, with work, things that I don't agree with, things that I gotta do that make me just feel grimy, there's lessons in it. And I'm walking through it right now. But I got this.
You're kicking ass too.
Yeah.
Nice. Good on you.
So, yeah, I like to stop retaining thoughts because, God, for so long, all I had was those negative thoughts my whole life. And I like what you were saying there, Brittany. Why you tolerated negative thoughts. Like, for me, like, I tolerated it because I believed it. Like, I believed I was a shitty, worthless person. And, like, I deserve bad things to happen to me. So, if I believe it, I'm going to make, like, my own self-fulfilling prophecy. So I made those things even come true and make it worse. But, like, slowly coming to recovery this time, like, and actually caring about myself and actually working on myself, like, realize a few people have helped with that too, not my own, but, like, made me realize, you know, I'm not that bad of a person at all. Pretty good person, actually. Like, and then, like, slowly over time, that thinking started changing a lot between. I wouldn't dwell on the negatives as much and switch to positives. And then now, like, I don't even allow those negative thoughts to even occupy my mind. I don't allow those, you suck, you can't do this, you're gonna fail anymore. Because, like, it's just a waste of energy. And I know I am better than that. Like, I use self-positive talk every day almost. Especially, like, for me, like, I love running races now, apparently. So, like, when I think, you know, maybe I won't be able to run this distance at all. But then I start running, I'm like, you know what, this isn't so bad. I can do this. I do got this. And then once I get in my head that I can do this, like, it makes it a lot more of a breeze for me to run then. And I won't struggle as much.
Mike.
There's a lot of good stuff that's been going around tonight, and I can relate to a lot of it. I mean, you know, the self-talk is definitely big. You know, the more that I'm able to, you know, turn the negative into the positive, and I can relate, Dustin, like, you know, the more that I tell myself that I can do things, the more that I believe it. But obviously, you know, it took me some practice to get to the point where I'm at. You know, because when I was out there, I definitely believed all the crappy stuff that I told myself. But the more that I was able to get it out and really work on it and put the action behind it, things started to change for me. You know, the more that I sat in my head and dwelled on it, it definitely was counterproductive. You know, a lot of it had to do with the way that my perception was of myself and just things I was doing. But I don't know, definitely works, man, the positive self-talk.
I completely agree with the positive self-talk, and I'm a big advocate for it. I need to, because I had negative self-talk for a while, like a lot of my life. I was just beating myself up on the inside, and I realized that was just causing from negativity inside me to emanate outward. And I realized, especially this weekend, I realized that when you start having positivity come from inside and it starts emanating outward to other people, that shit's contagious. Positivity is just as contagious as negativity. It's just all about shifting thinking. So I started putting some positive stuff out there this weekend to some people, just like striking up conversation with people. And then I saw it like spider webs around me. Just people started talking to other people, and I was like, wow, this started from me. Just one person doing this. And that's with everybody. Everyone can do that too. It's remarkable how once you start having some positivity inside you, with some positive self-talk and some positive things for yourself, some self-care, whatever you may do, you can start spreading it outwardly to other people. And that's just magical to see happen. And you might not see it right away like I did instantaneously, but it'll affect people whether you know it or not, and it'll keep spreading. It's the power that I was talking about a couple weeks ago, of just like collective thinking and just everyone being connected. I just think we can work together to help each other out, or we can just tear each other apart. And I think I'd rather have the first one, where we help each other out and start being positive, starting from within. Like Alina was saying, the journey to the center of us to figure out what's going on, what irked us for so long, why were we doing that to ourselves for so long. Then we can start emanating it outward to other people, and I think that's just the beauty of it all. I think if we continue doing that, which we are, this whole building emanates the positivity. I mean, the bright walls help a lot, but I think it's the brighter people in here that do more of the work. So I think we should just keep doing that. I'm going to, at least. Chelsea.
So pretty much what I was going to say is what everybody else has already shared so far. And I really like that there seems to be this theme of trusting in something. And for me, that's just trusting in the universe. Like, putting in work for me is just letting go. And that's probably the hardest work that I've encountered. And that allows me to just then kind of be myself. Which for a long time, like what we've been talking about, has been something that I've not been great at doing. You know, being hard on yourself, or negative self-talk and everything has kept me from experiencing good things for myself. And I'm to the point now where, again, like even like everything that Sean said, pretty much it was like what I was going to say. So that was great. That it's not good that other people experience it, but it's nice to know that other people have experienced it, and that there's a noticeable shift and there's a change when you just let go. And the small rewards, like with work. I ran the 5K and I wanted to die. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was, and I was so wrong. But I had my brother there, like you had your support. I would not have been able to get through that without my brother. And now I have one more thing, I guess, in my arsenal that I can use to then help me continue to just trust that I can do things and whatever is ahead of me, especially following it, based on something that I want to do. And I don't know. I guess it's just a lot easier now than trying to control situations like. Or getting upset at Walmart. It's the same thing. I love trying to control things, but it's done nothing good for me. So by not controlling a situation, it's brought me so much more. And I don't know. I'm just really glad that everybody else has kind of spoken on the same topic all night.
AJ.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, positive self-talk, right? That one's been a struggle in a lot of different ways for me. I can relate to what Dustin said. I felt worthless a lot of my life, and to the point where I felt expendable in certain situations. And that wasn't an easy concept for me to change in my own mind. especially when I got here and they told me, oh, you need to work on positive self-talk, you know, and say nice things to yourself in the mirror. I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen. I mean, could you honestly picture me standing there in front of the mirror saying like nice things to myself? I mean, yeah, I wasn't about to do that. But then, like Steven said, I was sick of being isolating and being with myself, right? I wanted to be social again. I was a social person once, and I wanted to be social again, you know. But then I was kind of at the point where, I mean, you know, I felt like strange being around other people, strain on them, and I mean, I kind of was. I mean, who the hell's gonna like you when you don't even like you, you know? Like, I don't even hang out with me, so, yeah, that's where I was. And then I got to thinking one day about self-talk in general, you know? The only times I've ever failed at anything I've wanted to do, running 10K, doing whatever, you know, as if I told myself, I can't do it, or I'm not this, or, you know, I fall short of that, you know? That's the only time that I've ever allowed it to happen. You know, anytime I've motivated myself, or told myself I was worth it, whatever, you know, that I can do this, that's when I succeed, you know? And it's because I don't give up at that point. Because I find a way to make my goal, you know, no matter what. And that's kind of where it started for me. You know, I got to the point where I didn't have good self-talk, then like, you know, I do a little, maybe too much positive self-talk, to where Jen had to check me and be like, slow your roll, bro. So, you know, humbleness is a good aspect to keep in mind when talking on this subject. Another thing that I don't, you know, someone mentioned negative motivation. I think that's, for me, that's actually, that can be a positive thing depending on how I use it, you know? Working out and stuff like that, you know, I use it to motivate myself and push myself further sometimes. You know, it can be used in a positive way. Not when I'm sitting there telling myself I'm a piece of shit, you know, that aspect, no. But, I don't know, a lot of good things said tonight.
Thanks, AJ. You did great.
You did great.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling on me.
Now I'm all nervous. Deanna.
This is probably one of the biggest personal changes that's happened for me in the last, however long it's been. I think I spent the better part of 17 years in active addiction, running the streets and hurting myself. And oddly enough, I was just talking to Ashley about this before the meeting, and we were talking about how it was more of a way of punishing myself, and then the more stuff I built on was punishment for the stuff before and whatever, and it was because I didn't think I was good enough because, and I didn't think I was good enough because of the things that I told myself, and because I took on the things that had been told to me, and I believed them, and then I believed them about myself, and like it talks about here, my inner narrator was always saying things like, you can't do this, you better quit before you screw things up again. And I believed that over and over and over again every time I tried to begin to attempt to get my shit together. And the bad things that I said to myself and the bad things that the way I felt about myself always outweighed the good, because I didn't hang on long enough to get some good, you know, to like kind of overpower all of the shit that was in there. And I don't believe that I have a fear of failure. And I relate the fear of failure as, like, for the most part, fear of failure to me is just like, it's always been like, you know, if I fail, everyone's gonna see me fail, and it's just like an ego gig. You know what I'm saying? It's really not a fear. It's a shock to your ego. Like, people are gonna see you fail. Me. And so, like it says in the next paragraph, I started paying attention to my self-talk. I started stepping back mentally and listening to the voice that told me I can't do something or that I was just going to fail again. Ego-shattering self-talk is often hypercritical and hateful. And I hated myself. So of course I'm going to talk to myself like a piece of shit. But I think the biggest thing about it was that I hung on long enough, and even some days it was by the tips of my nails. Hung on long enough to get more good than bad. And, you know, some days I have to use positive self-talk just to get myself out of fucking bed. Because some days I just don't want to fucking get out of bed. I just want to stay in bed. And, you know, some days it's something as simple as that, and some days it's more complicated, and that's okay. It gets easier with time. I don't think this is any kind of thing that's going to happen in some 6-month program or 2 weeks of IOP or whatever it is. This isn't a skill that is learned in, you know, some course of treatment. This is something that is practiced over time and learned throughout our life, and it's never something that I'm ever going to be perfect at. I have to practice it constantly, and some days I feel like I fucking hate myself, and I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I just have to understand that I'm just okay, like, to just fucking be. I don't have to be this. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, some days I can just be this, and that's okay. As long as I'm not out there smoking crack and sticking needles in my arms or doing whatever it is that I'm doing, or, you know, whatever, I'm all right, you know. As long as I have left all of that bullshit-ass behavior that makes me feel like a piece of shit, that keeps a constant reminder of the shit that I was, you know, I'm doing all right. And, you know, today I just put one foot in front of the other, and, you know, some days I don't do the next right thing, but that's okay, because I can double it up the day after. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Dean. That was heavy, but I think that, I don't think this, I know you're kicking ass, Deanna. I know your unique sense of self, you embrace that, and you don't give up. I'll bleep. And I think that's what makes you who you are. So thank you for sharing it. Thank you for just being you, because you're kicking ass, man.
I'm trying, man.
Ashley Kelly.
All right. For me, negative self-talk hasn't been so much belittling myself, like telling myself that I'm stupid or that I can't do something. It's been way more minimizing who I am and minimizing my emotions and experiences. Like, one of the words that I've worked really, really hard and continue to work to remove from my vocabulary is the word just. Because I find myself doing that, or have found myself doing that with almost every accomplishment that I've ever had. I'll look at it and say, well, it's just this, or I just did this, and selling myself short. And so now I catch myself, or I try really hard to catch myself when I do that. And then the other aspect of it with my emotions is just minimizing my emotions. Like, I found myself, when I've had some really powerful, intense emotions, almost apologizing for them or explaining them away. And I feel like, for me, it's not fixing that because even though I've gotten better at it, it still happens. It's, for me, the progress with that is now I recognize it a lot faster. I just had this happen recently. I was feeling some really intense things, and rather than just allowing myself and believing, hey, like, this experience is messed up and it warrants you feeling the way that you're feeling, I started explaining to a person, well, obviously I feel this way because of this factor that's influencing it, and I know why I do that. It's because I believed for years and years that I just didn't matter, and that's what that is just, it's me telling myself, you're not important and you don't matter. And so for me, I just try really hard to catch it now, and even if the situation that I'm in is saying to me, hey, you're not important, you don't matter, I know logically that's not true, even if I have a hard time feeling it. And I just try to remind myself, based on what I've learned, that's not the case. That's not true. And so for me, it's a constant thing I'm going to be working on, I'm sure, for the rest of my life. But I feel like the progress in it for me is just, now I see it and I stop myself rather than just putting myself down and telling myself, you just don't matter.
Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to elaborate on what everybody said. The self-talk and saying good things about yourself and not saying bad things about yourself is a lifelong thing that you go through. If you're an addict and you're masking that with drugs, alcohol, overeating, whatever, you don't have those feelings. It's all masked because you're not thinking properly. Then when you get off the drugs and you're working your way through life, even at my age, I still have to say to myself, I'm good, I can do this, I can do that. This week, I had a terrible week, and I'm telling my friend, what do I have to do? I don't know what to do. And she said to me, why are you talking that way? She said, how many years have you been going for help, going to Racing for Recovery? It's a lifelong thing. Once you have it and you have that negativity, it's going to be there. You can work on it, and you have to work hard, but you're going to have to work your whole life because that negativity still sticks in there. And you just keep on thinking, I can do it, I can do it. And don't, like me, I was going to the race and signed up, had exercised, walked, ran. The day of the race, I said, I can't do it. That was the saddest day because everybody the next day was saying me how much, I had missed. And I did miss it. So here I am working, and I had exercised, and I walked, and I ran, and I did all of this kind of stuff. But the day that it was there to get there, I couldn't go. So you have to work on it. And now I'm ticked because I didn't go because everybody had a good time. So that's just, negativity is terrible. You just have to say, do it, and if you fail, what the heck, at least you tried.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't miss out on anything.
I'm so happy you're here, Pat.
I'm glad I'm here too.
Larry.
I heard a lot of good things today, and Pat, next Monday, Stephen will tell us we have 49 weeks to go until the next race, so we'll see you there. I enjoy what everybody shares. I hear a lot of good things, but one thing, everybody in this room helps me, if they know it or not. Sometimes I tell them, wow, what you said was awesome, man, or wow, that really struck me, or that's what I'm going through. But just, I just want to say to everybody, don't ever think you're insignificant, or you don't matter, or people don't place value, not monetary, but they place value upon you. Because we're all here for a reason. We're all growing. we're all changing, and it's like Sean says, it's different. And it is. Sometimes it's overwhelming to see the change in people, see the change in me. I don't know how to handle it sometimes. I get frustrated. But it's all for, there's a reason. That's why we're here. But everybody in this room holds a place in me, like in my heart. And everybody in this room has significance, because without everybody here, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So when you guys lay your heads on your pillows tonight, just remember that people care, people value you, people love you. We're all here for the same thing, and we're all going to succeed. So thank you.
Larry.
Candy.
Billy.
That was heavy shit. I just want to say the positivity thing reminds me of the paying it forward thing, where it just kind of inspires people to feel good, do good things, I guess. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome.
I think personally that I have related to so much stuff that's been said tonight, and it's been such a good meeting. I relate to the feeling negative about myself and not feeling like I'm worth it. I've related to the feeling good about myself and being on top too. I've related to so much stuff, but all I know is that for me, it's always going to be a work in progress, because just like Deanna said, there were days like today, man. I was laying in bed and I was like, there's no way I'm going to make it to the 8 o'clock meeting this morning. There's no way I'm going to do it. And then before I knew it, I was already standing up and I was like, gosh, darn it looks like I'm going to make it to it. I don't know. I don't give myself enough credit. And I think it's because I've taught myself over time that I wasn't worth the feelings that I was feeling. Because I've come to realize through my sobriety that I feel everything so deeply. I am a truly empathetic person, and I felt that way my entire life, but I always thought that was a wrong way to feel. Like I came off too strongly, or like I was too sad or too happy or too anywhere in between. But I just realized that maybe I just wasn't around the right people to accept me for who I was. Or maybe I just didn't accept it myself, so they couldn't accept that too. I think whatever way we are is the way we're supposed to be. So if you're a little sad, if you're a little extra, let's just say, and you think you're just a little bit too over the top, like sometimes, but I think that's the way you're supposed to be, and you just need to find people that accept you for the way you are, and as long as you accept yourself. Because I found people in my life that care about me now, that even on my worst days, when I'm not feeling it, they still love me for who I am, and that's that's what really matters, man. Like, this building, this vibe, man, it's like, it's untouchable. And what Larry was saying, it's unbeatable. Like, everyone loves each other and cares about each other in this whole building, and it's something we need to take outside these walls to the world around us. And now I'm getting all emotional, so let's just end it on that. Orlena, you have something?
Yeah, just real quick. In church Sunday, my pastor gave out, we walked in, the usher gave out a sheet of paper, and it was full with things that we're supposed to declare every day. And if somebody went through the Bible and picked out all the positive things that God says that we are. And it's like, I said I was going to do it every morning, so when I did it this morning, I read it out loud. And I don't know, it gave me kind of a good feeling that's what God thinks of me. He's the ultimate for me, my belief. And also, it says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Right. So if I keep putting this good stuff in there and trying to interrupt the bad, I don't do it every time, but sometimes I do it. It's getting better and better. But I thought it was real interesting that we're on this topic, and the pastor was talking about that kind of stuff at church. He gave us out that little thing. So I stand in front of the meeting I declare that I'm more than a conqueror through Christ Jesus. I declare that I was marvelously and wonderfully made. Just going, because that's what it said in the Bible, so I just say it to me.
That's what matters. That's how we talk to ourselves, and I think we're all worth it. Who's got the autobiography?
That would be me.
Larry.
Where? Autobiography in 5 short chapters. I'll just take a minute. By Portia Nelson. Anyway.
Read it, Larry.
I walk down the street. I can't do this now. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am hopeless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out.
Keep reading.
I'm sorry. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It takes a long time to get out. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It's my fault. I get out immediately.
Just go down another street.
I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around. I walk down the other street.